White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says the U.S. could see 200,000 new COVID infections a day in the fall. That number was just 10,000.
Hello, today I present to you an extremely attractive application for music lovers. It's completely free. You can listen to music online or download unlimited music to use whenever you don't have internet. The powerful search function helps you find anything you want. Trust me. It's hard not to find what you're looking for because the search function is really powerful. Application download link is attached in the description of the video. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Thanks.
A few weeks ago, Dr. Fauci's prediction comes as the Delta variant continues to drive up cases and as officials race to get more Americans vaccinated. Skyler Henry reports from the White House.
The Biden administration laid out efforts to increase vaccinations among students, including pop-up clinics at schools, sending pediatricians to schools on parent-teacher nights, and incorporating vaccines in physicals required for student athletes.
We're committed to doing everything we can to ensure we get kids back into the classroom safely.
The initiatives come as coronavirus cases spike across the country.
These cases are concentrated in communities with low vaccination rates. In fact, over the past 7 days, Florida and Texas have accounted for about 1/3 of new cases and more than 1/3 of new hospitalizations nationwide.
The CDC reports 83% of U.S. counties have substantial or high transmission of COVID-19. An urgent care facility in Slidell, Louisiana is turning away patients. Most have COVID.
Over the last few weeks, it's gone back to where we're pulling the board at 11, 12 o'clock because we are capped out.
A White House briefing also touched on booster shots for those who are immunocompromised.
We'll make that be implemented as quickly as possible because for us and for the individuals involved, it is a very high priority.
The administration is also exploring requiring most foreign travelers that enter the country to prove they're fully vaccinated.
That's not a decision at this point. That's one of the paths that's being looked at.
CBS News has confirmed Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin plans to seek authorization as early as this week for mandatory COVID vaccinations for all active duty troops. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
CBS News reporter Alexander Tin joins me now with more. Hi there, Alex. Do we have any idea when that phased plan to require foreign travelers to be vaccinated might happen?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting conundrum, and you heard Skyler Henry kind of just reference that a few minutes ago. You know, we know on the one hand that while they are potentially planning for this, the White House COVID-19 coordinator Jeff Zients was very clear at today's press briefing that he said that while this was one of the potential plans they were considering, no decision had been made, and there's a potential possibility that they'll go with an alternative route that doesn't require foreign travelers to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. But that's within the larger context of the current Delta variant surge that has caused that surge in cases all around the country. Jeff Zients saying today the same thing that we've heard him say for a few weeks now, which is amid all these surging cases, amid surging hospitalization rates, the White House is not planning, at least in the near future, to loosen travel restrictions in the United States.
Well, we mentioned that Dr. Fauci said he thinks the U.S. could see 200,000 new COVID cases a day by the fall. What indicators might be pointing to that?
Well, that's an interesting situation because, you know, as you heard Dr. Fauci said, I think he made that prediction first in an interview with a group called CSIS yesterday. He told them that he predicted that just like we saw in the United Kingdom before us, which you'll recall also faced a massive surge in Delta variant cases that really accelerated to dominate the country's cases there, like it is now dominating here, that they saw a rapid spike in cases followed by a peak and then a general diminution in cases. What he predicted is that spike will peak somewhere between 100 to 200,000 cases here in the United States. And just to put that in perspective, right now we're averaging just around 90,000 cases a day. That's more than we saw last summer at that, really deadly spike we saw last year, but is less than the over 200,000 cases a day we saw during the deadly surge over the winter. That would put us somewhere between that. And it's obviously unfortunate, and hopefully we will see the end of this surge soon. But Dr. Fauci was quick to caution in that answer that while we may see, a reduction in this wave of cases, a reduction in this surge of hospitalizations, that unless we see a significant uptick in vaccinations, we are likely going to see what he called a, quote, smoldering infection that will continue for months and cause these community by community, local and regional outbreaks again and again and again, preventing a return to normal.
Well, Alex, we also heard Dr. Fauci say booster shots for immunocompromised people are a high priority. What have vaccine makers been saying about boosters?
Yeah, well, it's important to separate this into two buckets, right? We know that for immunocompromised people, just like in many other situations with many other vaccines, that the science says that they often do need a third additional dose to be able to mount the kind of immune response that you see in other otherwise healthy people who get those first two doses and see an immune response. And there was a real concern that has been expressed over the past few weeks, both by regulators and by the Biden administration and by consumers, that there's a real desire to get these booster doses that unfortunately just aren't allowed to be given as additional doses under both the CDC agreement that is with providers, as well as the FDA's emergency use authorization that makes clear that, at least for Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine, you can only get those first two doses. And they're really pushing hard to try to find some regulatory mechanism that will permit those immunocompromised patients to get a potential third dose. Now, separate from that, we know that Moderna and Pfizer both say that the science to them looks clear, that while the vaccines remain effective now, they think that the projected, trajectory of the waning antibodies suggests that there will be at least one more shot needed of the Pfizer vaccine or of the Moderna vaccine. They're gathering the data now, and at least in Pfizer's case, they've already moved forward with plans to submit that data potentially as soon as August 15th, and Moderna says they are moving forward in the coming weeks too.
All right, a lot of people very interested to hear more about that. Also top of mind for so many parents, the return to school, Alex. School will be back in session in the coming weeks for many students. Do we have any update on when kids under the age of 12 might be able to get a shot?
Well, Pfizer is the closest of the drug makers to potentially submitting data to the FDA saying that, hey, look, we've tested the vaccine in these younger age groups. We've met the increased data requirements that you've asked of us, and that based on our data, it looks like the vaccines are safe and effective in these younger age groups, just like they are into 12 and older groups that are currently authorized to get the vaccine. Pfizer has said that they plan to, submit that data to the FDA sometime in the September timeframe. And the FDA's Dr. Peter Marks, which is the top official handling these vaccine approvals at the FDA, said just this week that he expects that, assuming there are no safety issues in the data, that it will take the agency just a few weeks to process that data. I mean, that's potentially allowing for an authorization in the fall or early winter, at least for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, in that next younger age group. But Dr. Peter Marks was quick to caution this week that in that situation, it is only going to be that fast if there are no safety issues. If this expanded trial that Pfizer is currently conducting in this younger age group does turn up a potential safety issue, that issue is going to prolong the process. They're going to need to do more analysis on the benefits and risks and potentially put it forward before their independent panel of vaccine advisors, which will have to weigh the benefit and risks of potentially giving this dose to a younger age group.
All right, we know you'll continue to follow that. In the meantime, Alex, landlords are suing to block the new federal eviction moratorium that the CDC announced earlier this week. What is the basis of their lawsuit, and what could this legal challenge mean for renter protections?
Yeah, well, in the lawsuit that we saw yesterday, which, to be clear, is the same lawsuit that we saw months ago, earlier this year, that was appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court, and that Judge Kavanaugh, in the controlling opinion, Justice Kavanaugh, I should say, in the controlling opinion, said, well, in this case, we probably agree with the lower court. It does look like, in our, opinion, that the CDC exceeded their eviction moratorium authority in creating this moratorium. But because the moratorium is going to expire in a few weeks, because the CDC says this is the final extension of the moratorium, they decided against essentially overturning the moratorium while the case was winding its way through the courts. Now, of course, what's happened since that decision by the Supreme Court, when they said that the only way that, the eviction moratorium could potentially be extended was through a congressional authorization, was A, we saw this huge surge in Delta variant cases. B, we saw obviously a huge surge in hospitalizations and a change in the science of how we understand the Delta variant and how it spreads in these congregate settings. And obviously, C, we saw a lot of push, both from Congress, which was unable to pass a specific authorization for the eviction moratorium, as well as progressive allies of the White House saying, you need a new eviction moratorium. People could die if you don't get a new eviction moratorium. And that's what resulted in what we see today. Now, the judge in that lower court case has said that the Biden administration has until tomorrow morning to file essentially their answer in the case, saying, this is why we think this new, more tailored eviction moratorium is indeed constitutional and is different than the old one. We'll see what they say, but that's probably far from the end from it. Once we go from that district court, it's probably going to go the same way that the original eviction moratorium case went, which is through the appeals court and then back up to the Supreme Court.
All right, Alex Tin for us. Alex, always good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.